Hi friends, welcome to ISM College Connect YouTube channel. In previous videos, we discussed about how to retrieve the values from the JSON server. In these videos, we are going to see how to perform the sorting and filtrations. Here you see in previous videos, we are going to store all the values on the final data and then we are going to print all the values, sort out the values which is present on the final data. Now, you see, we are going to perform some sorting operations. So for that, I'm going to use the piping operation. So here, I'm going to use the data which is going to hold the values which is given by this view data method. This view data method is going to call the JSON server and it is going to print all the values which is present on the JSON server. Now we are going to retrieve all the values which is present on the which variable data dollar variable. Now we are going to performing the sorting operation. For that we need to transfer the data into pipe by using the pipe operation and then we are going to perform the sorting operation. So for that I'm just going to use the pipe operation. The pipe operation is used to transforming the given data. So inside this I'm just going to use the map operation. What is the map operation is going to do? It is going to convert the given values into the array format. Okay, so here you see we having the values like this. Okay, so this value will be going to convert into the array format. Okay, so now I'm just going to convert the given data into the array format. Then I'm going to perform the sorting operations. So I'm just going to pass the given values into the array format. So each data is going to be passed and then it is going to be perform the filtration operations. So I'm just going to pass the given data into the D. This D is going to hold the complete data, that is the entire data, what we are having on here, right? The entire data. Okay, so now inside this, I'm just going to retrieve that D again, and then I'm going to perform the sorting operation. So sort. Okay, so it's going to hold the two values. Okay, so that is one is for one is going to hold the first values, another one is going to hold the second values. In between it is going to perform the sorting operation. So I'm just going to hold one value which is going to be a, which is going to be type of what? It is going to be type of student. Okay, so and another value is also, but it is also going to be a student type only. So I'm just going to use student. Right, done. Okay, so then I'm going to perform the sorting operation based on which values. Okay, so here a dot. Okay, so here you see we having the username. Okay, so which is going to be compare now. Okay, so a dot locally compare. Okay, so locally compare. Locally compare. Inside this, I'm just going to pass another values. Okay, so another values, that is b dot username. Okay, so username is going to perform the sorting operations and then it is going to store the final results on which variable means final data. Okay, so for that I'm just going to import this mapping operation first. Okay, so I'm just going to import this mapping operation. Okay, so now you see we done it. Okay, so here what we did is, so final the data which is present on the data dollar is going to be transformed with the help of pipe. Then we are going to convert the given data into the array format. Okay, so then we are going to perform the sorting operations. So in the sorting operation we need to pass the values, right? Okay, so we need to perform sorting operation means we need to perform two set of values. So then I'm going to pass one set of value as a, another set of values also b. Okay, so here we are going to perform sorting operation based on what? So it is going to be based on username. Okay, so now you see, finally we are going to store the data on which variable? That is final data. Okay, so that is now we are going to perform the default sorting based on ascending order. Okay, so now I'm just going to save this file and I'm going to run it now. Here you see, I'm just going to see, check the output. Here you see the name is now displaying the data in the ascending order. Okay, in case if you want to perform the descending order, so what you need to do, you're going to give the name in ulta order. Okay, so here I'm going to pass the B in first and I'm going to pass A as second argument. Okay, now you see the default sorting is based upon what? Descending order. So now we implement the sorting operations. Then the next one we are going to perform is filtration operations. Okay, so suppose the user is going to type some values, means it is going to display those values which is present on the JSON server. So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create one input text box inside this view component.html file. Okay, so for that, I'm just going to create one input, which is going to be type of text. Then I'm going to find the values. Okay, so what are the values which is going to call? Okay, so it is going to call the method which is called as get or search value method. Here I'm going to use pass the even value, that is dollar even. Okay, so here when the user is going to give the values, it is going to pass the values to the search values. Okay, so here I'm going to create one method inside the search component.ts file. Okay, search value. Okay, so it is going to be any data type. It is going to be E is going to be what? It is going to be any data type. Here, I'm going to print the values on the console window to check whether we are getting the right value from the text box or not. Okay, so for that, I'm just going to use a console log. So here I'm going to use target dot e dot target dot value. Okay, so e dot target dot values, I'm going to print it. Okay, so here, whenever the user is going to key in some values on the text box, that value will be passed to the Typescript file. Okay, so then we are going to print it. Okay, so here, I'm just going to click the refresh button. Okay, so we are not getting this. Okay, so because we need to give slave work. Okay, so now you see we got have the text box. I'm just going to open the console log to check the values which I'm given on here. Okay, so here you see. So what are the values I'm typing? It is passing the values to the backend. Now we are going to perform the filtrations operations. Before that, I'm just going to write some CSS design, simple CSS design for this text box. So for that, I'm moving to the CSS file. Okay, so here you see, we are going to write input. Okay, so for that, which type input? The type is going to be what? Text. Type is equal to text. Okay, so here I'm just going to write display is going to be what? Block. So that it is going to display on the separate line, display block. Okay, so and then I'm just going to give the border, so which is going to be 0.5 pixels, and then the type is going to be what? Blue, and then color which I'm going to give it as $123. Right. Okay, so here you see we are having like this. So I don't want this corner edge, I just want curve edge. Okay, so that I'm going to use border radius, which is going to be what? 5 pixels. Okay, done. Okay, so here you see inside this placeholder, I'm just going to mention enter ID or placeholder, enter ID or name. So, right. Okay, so here you see we are going to give ID or name on this particular text box. So based upon the values which the user is given, it is going to filter the values which is present on the JSON server. So for that, we are going to write the conditions. So I'm just going to use the same pipe operations and then map operation, then filtration operations. Okay, so for that, I'm just going to check if the user is given values is there or not. So if the user is not given any value is not given by the user, so we are going to pass the entire data, so whatever we are getting from the services file. Okay, so through the services call, whatever the data we are going to return, we got. Okay, so that value we are going to return, or else we are going to convert the given data into the pipe and filtering operations. Then we are going to return the values which match with the data we are having on the JSON server. So what for that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write this dot the same value. Okay, so here you see this value I'm going to convert into the pipe operation. That is what values which the data is holding. Okay. So I'm just going to convert the given data into the pipe operation. Okay. So now we are going to convert that or transfer the data. Okay, so inside this, I'm just going to convert the given values, whatever the values which the data observable is holding. Okay, so I'm just going to convert the given data into the array format. Okay, so I'm just going to use the students. Okay, so students. Okay, so here you see, I'm just going to pass the values, right? Okay, so I'm just going to convert the given data into the array format. Okay, so then I'm just going to inside this, I'm just going to perform the filtration operation. Inside this, I'm just going to perform the filtration operation. For that, I'm just going to use the return statement. Okay, so return, I'm going to write the filtration operation for this. Okay, students dot filter. Okay, students dot filter. Okay, so it is a method, right? Okay, so here inside this only we are going to write the conditions. Okay, so values which we are receiving is students, right? The entire array. Okay, so inside this we are going to pass only one set of data, right? Okay, so for that I'm going to uh, pass only one set of data. Okay, so students became what? Student. Okay, so one data. Okay, so that data will be matched with the condition. Okay, so that data should match with the condition. That is, it may be a ID or it may be a name. Okay, so that I'm just going to check student. Okay, so one particular student values which the user is given. Okay, so that value I'm going to check. Student ID dot I'm just going to convert into to string. Okay, so inside this I'm just going to check the values. Okay, so includes dot includes. Okay, so here I'm going to pass the values which the user is given. That is the user given values, value given, right? That is a variable. Now it holding the values. Now you see we are finishing the filtration operations. It is going to search the values based upon the values which is given by that user in the text box. Here we are going to check the values is on ID. Here you see, I'm just going to pass only the ID values BB. Okay, so now you see we got the output. But so we want to search for the username also. Okay, for that, what we need to do? Okay, so we need to put or symbol. Okay, so same as this. Okay, so that is student dot. Okay, so what is other name, other field we are having? It's a username. Okay, so here we are going to convert the given data into the two strings. Okay, so then we are going to search it on the JSON server. Okay, so here you see the values which is given by the user is stored on which variable value given. Right. Okay, so now we are going to check it. Here, I'm just going to check condition for both ID as well as the name. Okay, in case if I'm going to give the ID BB2E, it is working fine. Or else if I'm going to pass the name of the particular employee, here you see, we got the values. Okay, so that is a username which match with the particular value which is user given on the text box, it is printing. Okay, so or else I'm just going to pass any other values. Here you see Ashok Kumar. Okay, so now you see it is printing the values. So hope you understand how to perform the filtration and searching operations. Okay, so here you see, I'm going to explain once again. Okay, so here we are going to pass the values which the user is given through this event or a variable. Okay, so here the values which whatever the values which the user is going to type, it is going to call the search value method. Okay, so it's going to we are going to pass it to e variable. Okay, so it may be any type. Here we are going to check. Here we are going to assign the values to the another variable, that is a value given. Here we are going to check the condition if the value given is there or not. Okay, so in case the user is not given any values means, so we are going to assign the data to the filtered data. So finally, we are going to print the values on here. In case if the values is not given by the user, what we are going to do? So we are going to get all the values which is present on the data. Then we are going to transform the data through pipe operation. Okay, so pipe inside this we are going to use the map operation. Okay, so inside this map operation, what we are doing? So we are going to convert the given data into the array format. Okay, so that is the array JSON data we are having, right? The entire data which the is throwing. Okay, so that is it's throwing. Now it is converted into the array format. Okay, so through the map operation we are going to convert into the array format. Then we are going to write the filtrations. Okay, so that is students, that is the entire array. Inside this we are writing the filter operations. So here we are going to pass one particular data and we are going to check in whether it is matching or not another data. So likewise we are passing all the values whichever there is in the students array. Okay, so finally we are going to get the final output. Okay, so when the user is going to give the give the values. Okay, so give the values, got it. Okay, so VA and OTH, so we need to give the values. Okay, so finally we got the output. Okay, so this is the way how we are going to perform the searching operations and sorting operations and filtration operations. If you like this video, please share this video with your friends. Please don't forget to click the subscribe and bell button. Thank you.